Hey there, wonderful parents. Emily Parker here from Little Life Guide. Today, I'm talking about something that genuinely keeps me up at night as both a parent educator and a mom who's been there. There's one critical mistake that so many loving parents make when putting their babies to sleep, something I did myself with my first child. And it could be affecting your little one's development in ways you'd never expect. Stay with me because at the end, I'll share my game-changing bedtime technique that transformed our sleep struggles into peaceful nights. If you're new here, welcome. I've spent the last decade working with hundreds of families to create healthy sleep habits. And what I've learned might surprise you. The mistake I'm about to share shocked even me when I discovered the research behind it. Before we dive in, I want you to know that parenting is full of trial and error. We're all doing our best with the information we have. So there's absolutely no judgment here. It's only support and solutions that actually work in real homes with real babies. Let me start by painting a familiar picture. It's 8 p.m. You've been counting down to bedtime after a long day. Your baby is fussy, you're exhausted, and all you want is for your little one to drift off to dreamland so you can catch a breath. Maybe even watch that show everyone's been talking about. So what do many of us do? We turn to what seems like the perfect solution: background, noise, or screens to help soothe them to sleep. And this brings me to the critical mistake so many parents make, using screens or electronic devices as part of the bedtime routine. I know, it seems harmless, right? Maybe you've got a baby sleep app playing on your phone, or perhaps the TV is on in the background with the volume down. Maybe you're scrolling through your social media while nursing or bottle feeding your baby to sleep. Here's where it gets. Shocking research from the Sleep Foundation shows that the blue light emitted from these devices can suppress melatonin production by up to 50% in infants. Melatonin is that precious hormone that regulates our sleep cycles. When your baby's tiny developing brain is exposed to this light, especially in the critical 60 minutes before bedtime, it essentially tells their body that it's still daytime, exactly the opposite of what we want at bedtime. But it gets even more concerning. A long-term study conducted by pediatric sleep specialists followed babies from 6 months to 3 years and found that consistent exposure to screens before bedtime was associated with shorter overall sleep duration, more night wakings, longer time to fall asleep, and this one floored me: potential impacts on language development and emotional regulation. Remember when my daughter Lily was about 4 months old? Those early days were a blur of exhaustion. I'd rock her in the nursery with my phone in hand, catching up on messages or watching videos with the sound off while she nursed to sleep. It seemed like multitasking genius at the time. But then I noticed her sleep becoming increasingly fragmented. She'd wake at the slightest noise, sometimes hourly throughout the night. It wasn't until I consulted with a pediatric sleep specialist that I realized my beloved phone might be part of the problem. The specialist explained something that changed everything for me. Babies' eyes are still developing and actually let in more blue light than adult eyes. This means the impact of screen exposure is potentially even more disruptive for them than it is for us now. I know what you might be thinking, but Emily, I need my phone to check the baby monitor app, or the white noise app is the only thing that helps my baby sleep. Don't worry, I've got practical solutions for all of these concerns coming up. Let's look at another aspect of this that's rarely discussed. When we're on our devices while putting our babies to sleep, we're missing critical bonding opportunities. Those quiet moments before sleep are when babies are often most receptive to connection. A fascinating study from Harvard Center on the Developing Child found that these regular, attentive bedtime interactions actually strengthen neural pathways associated with secure attachment and emotional regulation. In other words, those precious bedtime moments aren't just about getting your baby to sleep. They're building the foundation for your child's emotional security and future relationships. Pretty powerful stuff, right? But here's what I want to emphasize. If you've been using screens as part of your bedtime routine, please don't feel guilty. Parenting doesn't come with a manual, and until recently, the research on this wasn't widely shared. The good news is that babies are incredibly resilient, and making changes now can have immediate positive effects. Now, let's talk solutions. Remember when I promised you a game-changing technique? Here it comes. But first, let's address the practical steps to create a screen-free bedtime environment. Step 1. Create a device curfew for your home. Ideally, all screens go off at least 60 minutes before your baby's bedtime. This includes TVs in the background, phones, tablets, and even certain types of artificial lighting. I know this sounds challenging in our connected world, but here's how my family made it work. We set an actual alarm on our phones for screen sundown time. When it goes off, devices go into a special drawer in the kitchen. This simple boundary created a much more peaceful energy in our home during the bedtime routine. Step 2. Replace electronic white noise with non-electronic alternatives. If your baby responds well to white noise, and many do, consider investing in a simple, non-electronic white noise machine that doesn't emit blue light or have blinking indicators. Even better, try natural sounds like gentle humming or soft singing. If your baby loves your voice more than any recorded sound. One of my clients, Jamie, was convinced her son Noah would never sleep without his white noise app. She was resistant to making the change, but agreed to try a small fan in the room instead. Not only did Noah adapt within just 2 nights, but Jamie noticed he was sleeping in longer stretches almost immediately. Step 3. Rethink your lighting strategy. This was revolutionary in our home. Instead of bright overhead lights or the blue glow of devices, we switched to red or amber nightlights. These wavelengths have minimal impact on melatonin production. Some parents I've worked with even use flameless candles placed safely out of reach to create a soothing, sleep-inducing atmosphere. But what about checking on your baby? Great question. If you need to check your little one during the night, consider using a small flashlight with a red filter rather than your phone's bright screen. Your baby will be less likely to be stimulated into full wakefulness, and so will you. Step 4. Create a consistent screen-free bedtime routine that engages multiple senses. This is where the magic really happens. Instead of the stimulation of screens, focus on calming sensory experiences, a warm bath with lavender, gentle infant massage, soft fabric books, or quiet singing. The key is consistency. When you repeat the same soothing activities in the same order each night, your baby's brain begins to recognize these cues and starts the mental and physical preparation for sleep before they even hit the crib. Now, here's my promised game changer. What I call the connect and collect technique. This approach transformed our bedtime struggles and has helped hundreds of families. I've worked with Dot instead of rushing through bedtime as a task to complete, connect, and collect reframes it as the most important 15 minutes of your day. Here's how it works. First, the connect part. As you prepare your baby for sleep, make deliberate eye contact. Slow your breathing and notice your baby naturally beginning to match your rhythm. This synchronization is actually backed by fascinating neuroscience. When you're calm and present, your baby's nervous system responds in kind. Next comes the collect part. Mentally collect and narrate the small moments from your day together. Even with infants, this simple storytelling has profound effects. Today you smiled when the sunlight hit your face. You discovered your hands can clap. You tried avocado for the first time. Serves multiple purposes. It helps you transition from busy parent mode to connected caregiver. It enriches your baby's language environment, and it creates a soothing, predictable bridge to sleep that doesn't rely on electronic stimulation. Maria, single mom I worked with, was initially skeptical. I barely have energy to get through the bedtime routine, let alone add something new, she told me. But after trying Connect and Collect for just 3 nights, she was amazed. It actually gives me energy, she reported. Remembering these little moments reminds me why the hard parts are worth it, and Zoe seems to settle so much faster. Now, I want to address some special circumstances because I know every family situation is different. For working parents who have limited evening time with their babies, even 5 minutes of fully present, screen-free connection before bed can make a difference. Quality truly trumps quantity here. For parents of babies with colic or reflux, I see you. And I know how desperately you're searching for solutions. While it's tempting to distract yourself with your phone during those long rocking sessions, try using those moments for mindfulness instead. Focus on your breathing, on the weight of your baby in your arms. Research suggests that this mindful presence can actually help regulate your baby's distress over time. For parents with multiple children, this is definitely challenging. Consider creating a special sleep basket filled with quiet, screen-free activities that only come out during the baby's bedtime routine. Older siblings can be nearby with these special items while you focus on the baby's bedtime. Now, let's talk about the amazing benefits you can expect when you implement these changes. Most families I work with notice improvements within 3 to 5 days, including shorter time for babies to fall asleep often by 50% or more. Longer sleep stretches overnight, more regulated daytime behavior and feeding patterns, and a surprising one, many parents report feeling more connected and less stressed themselves. Remember, consistency is key. Babies thrive on predictability, especially when it comes to sleep routines. The first few nights of any change might be challenging. But stay the course. The rewards are absolutely worth it. I want to share one final thought that really puts this all in perspective. Dr. Tina Payne Bryson, a renowned child development expert, explains that our consistent presence during vulnerable moments like bedtime actually shapes the architecture of our children's brains. We're not just helping them sleep, we're building their sense of security in the world. When I learned this, it transformed how I viewed those sometimes exhausting bedtime routines. They became opportunities rather than obligations, chances to deposit into my children's emotional bank accounts. The most beautiful part: you don't have to be perfect at this. Your baby doesn't need perfection. They just need you, present and loving, creating a safe harbor as they drift off to sleep. Before we wrap up, I'd love to know, what's been the most challenging part of your baby's bedtime routine? Drop it in the comments below, and let's support each other. This parenting journey is so much better when we share it. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Little Life Guide. Every week, I share practical, research-backed strategies to make parenting a little less overwhelming and a lot more joyful. Next week, I'll be covering the surprising truth about baby sleep cycles and how understanding them can revolutionize your approach to naps. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember, you're not just putting your baby to sleep, you're building their brain one bedtime at a time. Until next time, this is Emily Parker from Little Life Guide, wishing you peaceful nights and joyful days with your little ones.